Hello, welcome to the ECNL National Headquarters here in Richmond, Virginia. I am Jay Howell, and this is Sarah Kate Knopfsinger, better known as Skate. Tonight, we are going to host the 2014 ECNL National Play-Offs Draw.
Before we begin the draw, we would like to thank Nike, U.S. Club Soccer, the National Guard, and all of our other sponsors and partners for their support of the ECNL. In many different ways, each of them helped to make the ECNL the best female youth soccer league in the world. So thank you.
The qualifiers for the ECNL National Playoffs are determined based on 10 months of the most demanding and grueling youth soccer in the country. For the past year, ECNL clubs have played a combination of conference games and games at ECNL national events all over the country with the same goal: to qualify for the ECNL playoffs.
Qualifying for the ECNL playoffs is a tremendous accomplishment and one of the most difficult things to do in all of female youth soccer. Teams that have qualified have proven their quality and mettle against the very best players, teams, and clubs in the United States, and the best female youth club competition in the world.
The ECNL playoffs are the start of the ECNL postseason. At the end of the postseason, we will crown 5 ECNL Champions League national champions and 3 ECNL North American Cup champions. But the path to these titles is different at each age group.
At under 14, 16 qualifying teams will meet in Seattle for the ECNL Under 14 Champions League finals. Each team will play 3 group games, and then group winners will move on to a semifinal and final to crown the Under 14 ECNL Champions League national champion. The group matchups will be determined tonight.
At under 18, the structure is the same. 16 qualifying teams will meet in Seattle for the ECNL Under 18 Champions League finals, and one will be eventually crowned as the Under 18 ECNL Champions League national champion. These group matchups will also be determined tonight.
Now with the U15, U16, and U17 playoffs, that structure is a little bit different. In each age group, 64 teams have qualified for the ECNL postseason in one of 2 different competitions, either the ECNL Champions League or the ECNL North American Cup. The ECNL Champions League consists of the top 32 teams in the ECNL, including conference top finishers, and there's a few wild cards. The ECNL North American Cup consists of the best 32 teams in the ECNL outside of the ECNL Champions League.
The Under 15, Under 16, and Under 17 ECNL Champions League and the Under 15, Under 16, and Under 17 ECNL North American Cup are 2-stage competitions. Stage 1 is in Seattle, Washington at the ECNL playoffs. For this first stage, each team will be placed into seeding pots, and matchups will be drawn to form playoff groups in each competition. These group matchups will be determined tonight. The group winners in each competition will then advance to the second stage in Richmond, Virginia, the ECNL Finals.
In each competition, teams in the same group will play a round robin against the other 3. 3 games are played over the course of 4 days. These groups are determined by seeding from games played throughout the year, and then the blind draw that's held tonight.
We are going to take a quick commercial break.
Welcome back. We will now begin the playoff draw for the Under-15 ECNL Champions League. The draw starts with identifying the top 8 overall seeds in the Under-15 competition. Each of these seeds will be placed into a different playoff group, from A to H. The top 8 seeds include the conference champions from each of the 7 ECNL conferences across the country, and the 8th seed is the team with the next best record from any conference.
These are the top overall seeds: PDA, De Anza Force, West Coast FC, Michigan Hawks, FC Virginia, Dallas Texans, Concord Fire, and San Diego Surf.
We will begin round 2 of the draw by selecting from the seeding pod, including the teams ranked and seeded 9 to 16 in the ECNL Champions League. These seeds and rankings are based on performances of these teams throughout the entire year. We will pull one team for each playoff group with one rule: a team cannot be placed into the same group as a team from its own conference. If a team is drawn into a playoff group that already includes a team from their conference, they will be placed back into the pod and we will redraw. Group A, Seed 2, Crossfire. Group B, Seed 2, Colorado Storm. Group C, Seed 2, Solar Chelsea. Group D, TSC. Group E, SoCal Blues. Group F, CISA. Group G, Penn Fusion. Group H, Eagles. Eagles are in the same conference as San Diego Surf, so they have to be placed back into the pot and redrawn. Penn Fusion needs to come out, and we will switch Penn Fusion with Eagles. Round 3 of the draw is a selection of teams ranked seeded 17 through 24 in the Champions League. Group A, Seed 3, Albertson. Albertson is in the same conference as PDA, so they will be placed back into the pot and redrawn. Charlotte Soccer Academy. Connecticut FC. Matchfit. Albertson. Group E, Sockers. Group F, Real Colorado. Group G, Texas Rush. Group H, Mustang. The final round, round 4, of the U15 Champions League includes the selection of teams ranked and seeded 25 to 32. Group A, Seed 4, Washington Premier. Washington Premier is in the same conference as Crossfire, so they'll be placed back in the pot and redrawn. FC Stars. FC Stars is in the same group as PDA. They're in the same conference, so they'll be placed back into the pot and redrawn. Slammers. Washington Premier. Washington Premier is in the same conference as De Anza, so they'll be placed back into the pot and redrawn. FC Stars. FC Stars is in the same conference as Connecticut FC, so they're placed back in the pot. Colorado Rush. Colorado Rush is in the same conference as Colorado Storm, placed back in the pot. Bethesda. Group C, FC Stars. FC Stars is in the same conference as Match Fit, placed back into the pot. Carmel United. Group D, Colorado Rush. Colorado Rush and the Hawks are in the same conference, so they'll be placed back into the pot. Eclipse. Eclipse is in the same conference as Michigan Hawks. FC Stars. FC Stars is in the same conference as Alberton. Washington Premier. Group E, Castle. Castle is in the same conference as FC Virginia. FC Stars. Castle will be placed back into the pot. Group F, Eclipse. Eclipse is in the same conference as Real Colorado, so we will redraw. Colorado Rush is in the same conference as Real Colorado. We will redraw. Castle. Place these two back into the pot. Group G, Eclipse. Group H, Colorado Rush.
Under 15 ECNL Champions League Playoff Draw. Congratulations to all these teams on their qualification. We'll be right back and start the ECNL North American Cup draw. We are now going to begin the draw for the 2014 Under 15 ECNL North American Cup. The ECNL North American Cup is comprised of the top 32 teams across the ECNL outside of the ECNL Champions League. These 32 qualifying teams have been ranked 1 through 32 based on their record from all games played throughout the ECNL season, including conference and national event games. The top 8 seeds in the Under 15 ECNL North American Cup have been placed on line 1 of each of the 8 top groups. The top seeds for the ECNL North American Cup are Sporting, Lone Star, Maryland United, FC Dallas, Challenge, Ohio Premier, NC Fusion, and VSI Flames.
Now the remaining 24 teams have been placed into 3 seeding pots based on their overall records throughout the year. We will begin round 2 of the draw by selecting from the second pod, including those teams seeded 9 through 16 in the ECNL North American Cup. Just as in the Champions League, no team can be drawn into a group that includes a team from the same conference. Seed 2, Group A, East Meadow. Seed 2, Group B, Arsenal. to Group C, Real SoCal. Group D, San Juan. Group E, Ohio Elite. Group F, Heat FC. MVLA. Strikers. We'll now begin round 3 with the following seeds 17 through 24. FC Bucks. FC Bucks are in the same conference as East Meadow, so we will redraw. St. Louis Scott Gallagher. St. Louis Scott Gallagher is in the same conference as Sporting, so we will redraw. Minnesota Thunder. Minnesota Thunder is in the same conference as Sporting. Continental FC. They are in the same conference as East Meadow. Dallas Sting. We will now place the previous 4 back into the pot. Group B, GSA. Group C, Internationals. Internationals are in the same conference as Maryland United, so we will redraw. FC Bucks. Place Maryland United. We'll place Internationals back into the cup. Continental FC, Group D. Group E, Minnesota Thunder. Group F, St. Louis Scott Gallagher. Group G, Albion. And we finish out with Internationals. Now begin the final round of the Under-15 North American Cup draw. Birmingham United. St. Louis Scott Gallagher Metro. Group C, Defeaters. Atlanta Fire. Group E, Las Vegas Premier. Group F, FC Nova. Group H, FC Wisconsin. Did I just say Group H?
Group G.
Oh. Group H, SC Del Sol. SC Del Sol is in the same conference as the Strikers, so we will put FC Wisconsin in Group H, and SC Del Sol will be in Group G. This concludes the Under-15 ECNL North American Cup playoff draw. Congratulations to these teams for their qualification and good luck in Seattle. Commercial break? Maybe? Think about it? We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
No, hold on.
We will now begin the playoff draw for the Under-16 ECNL Champions League. The draw starts with identifying the top 8 overall seeds in the Under-16 competition. Each of these seeds will be placed into a different playoff group, A to H. The top 8 seeds include the conference champions from each of the 7 ECNL conferences across the country, and the 8th seed is the team with the next best record from any conference.
These are the top 8 overall seeds. Crossfire, FC Virginia, Slammers, PDA, Real Colorado, Dallas Texans, Concord Fire, and San Diego Surf.
We will begin round 2 of the draw by selecting from the seeding pot, including teams ranked and seeded 9 to 16 in the Champions League. As a reminder, if a team is drawn into a playoff group that already includes a team from their conference, the team will then be placed back into the pool and a new team will be drawn out. Click Select. Group A, Seed 2. FC Dallas, Group B, Seed 2. Group C, Santa Rosa. Group D, Maryland United. Group E, Sporting Blue Valley. Sporting Blue Valley is in the same conference as Real Colorado. We will redraw. SoCal Blues. Place Sporting Blue Valley back in the pot. Group F, Real SoCal. Group G, Dallas Sting. Group H, Sporting. We will now begin round 3, which includes teams ranked and seeded 17 through 24 in the Under-16 Champions League. Group A, Penn Fusion. Group B, Vardar. Group C, TSC. Group D, Mustang. Group E, CISA. Group F, FC Bucks. Group G, Michigan Hawks. Lastly, De Anza Force. The final round, round 4, of the Under-16 Champions League draw includes a selection of teams ranked and seeded 25 to 32. Birmingham United. Group B, Strikers. C, Ohio Premier. Group D, Match Fit. Match Fit is in the same conference as PDA, so we will redraw. East Meadow. East Meadow is in the same conference as PDA, so we will redraw. FC Stars is in the same conference as PDA. Atlanta Fire. Yes, we have a winner. Place the 3 previous ones back in. Group E, North Carolina Fusion. Group F, East Meadow. East Meadow is in the same conference as FC Bucks. Match Fit, same conference. Who do we have left? FC Stars. North Carolina Fusion comes out. Yep.
Draw those 3.
These 3. FC Stars. Group G, East Meadow. Match Fit.
This concludes the Under-16 ECNL Champions League playoff draw. Congratulations to all these teams on their qualification, and good luck in Seattle. We'll be right back and start the ECNL North American Cup draw. We will now begin the draw for the 2014 Under-16 ECNL North American Cup. The ECNL North American Cup is comprised of the top 32 teams across the ECNL outside of the ECNL Champions League. These 32 qualifying teams have been ranked 1 through 32 based on their record from all games played throughout the ECNL season, including conference and national event games. The top 8 seeds from the Under-16 ECNL North American Cup have been placed on line 1 of each of the 8 groups. The top seeds for the Under-16 ECNL North American Cup are the Internationals, St. Louis Scott Gallagher, Defeaters, McLean, Connecticut FC, FC Wisconsin, Lone Star, and the Colorado Rush.
The remaining 24 teams have been placed into 3 seeding pots based on their overall records throughout the year. We'll begin round 2 of the draw by selecting from the second pod, including those teams seeded 9 to 16 in the North American Cup. Just as in the Champions League, no team can be drawn into a group that includes a team from the same conference. Group A, C2, Solar. Group B, Eagles. Group C, Castle. Group D, Richmond Strikers. Richmond Strikers are in the same conference as McLean, so we will redraw. Sereno. Richmond Strikers go back into the pot. Continental FC. They are in the same conference as Connecticut FC, so we will redraw. Heat FC. Continental back into the pot. Group F, San Juan. Group G, Richmond Strikers. Lastly, Continental FC. now begin round 3, which includes the teams seeded 17 through 24. Group A, Washington Premier. Group B, Pleasanton Rage. Making people nervous, Jay. VSI. Albion. West Coast. West Coast is in the same conference as Heat, so we redraw. GSA. West Coast back in. We'll start over. Soccer Plus. Group G, West Coast. Group H, Charlotte. We'll now begin the final round, which includes teams seeded and placed, numbers 25 through Scorpions. World Class. Colorado Storm. Ohio Elite. Ohio Elite is in the same group as McLean, so we will redraw. Albertson. Bethesda. Forgot to put Ohio Elite back in. We got Bethesda. MVLA. Minnesota Thunder. Minnesota Thunder is in the same conference as FC Wisconsin. Ohio Elite. Minnesota Thunder. Bethesda. This concludes the Under-16 ECNL North American Cup draw. Congratulations to all teams, and good luck in Seattle.
We will return with the Under-17 ECNL Champions League and ECNL North American Cup draw. We're going to take a quick commercial break.
Welcome back. We will now begin the playoff draw for the Under-17 ECNL Champions League. The draw starts with identifying the top 8 overall seeds in the Under-17 competition. Each of these seeds will be placed into a different playoff group, A through H. The top 8 seeds include the conference champion from each of the 7 conferences across the country, and the 8th seed is the team with the next best record in any conference.
These are the top 8 overall seeds in the Under-17 Champions League. Dallas Sting, McLean, West Coast FC, GSA, Eclipse, PDA, Washington Premier, and the Dallas Texans.
We'll begin round 2 of the draw by selecting from the seeding pod, including the teams ranked and seeded 9 to 16 in the ECNL Champions League. If the team is drawn into any playoff group that already includes a team from the same conference, the draw team will then be placed back into the pod and a new team will be drawn out. Let's go. Group A, C2, Real, Colorado. Group B, SoCal Blues. Group C, Sereno. Sereno is in the same conference as West Coast, so we will redraw. Match fit. Sereno is placed back in. Colorado Rush. VSI. Sereno. Surf. FC Stars. Round 3 of the draw includes teams seeded and ranked 17 to 24 in the Champions League. Vardar. Vardar and Real Colorado are in the same conference, so they are placed back in. We redraw. Crossfire. Vardar goes back in. MVLA. Ohio Elite. Slammers. Carmel United. Vardar. Mustang. Mustang and Washington Premier are in the same conference, so we will redraw. Michigan Hawks. Mustang. The final round, round 4, of the Champions League draw includes a selection of teams ranked seeded 25 to 32. Last one. Whoa. Penn Fusion. Lone Star. Connecticut. Connecticut and Matchfit are in the same conference. Bethesda. Bethesda and Ohio Elite are in the same conference. Defeaters. Place back in. Real SoCal. Real SoCal and Slammers are in the same group. Connecticut. Real SoCal is placed back in. TSC, Group E. Group F, Real Real SoCal. Real SoCal and Sereno are in the same group, or same conference, so we redraw. Bethesda. Castle. Lastly, Real SoCal.
This concludes the Under-17 ECNL Champions League playoff draw. Congratulations to all these teams and good luck in Seattle. We'll be right back and start the North American Cup draw right after this quick break. Welcome back. We are now going to begin the draw for the 2014 Under-17 ECNL North American Cup. The ECNL North American Cup is comprised of the top 32 teams across the ECNL outside of the ECNL Champions League. These 32 qualifying teams have been ranked 1 through 32 based on their record from all their games played throughout the ECNL season, including the conference and national event games. The top 8 seeds for the Under-17 ECNL North American Cup have been placed on line 1 of each of the top 8 groups. The top seeds for the Under-17 ECNL North American Cup are San Juan, Concord Fire, Internationals, Charlotte, Minnesota Thunder, FC Bucks, FC Wisconsin, and Utah Avalanche.
The remaining 24 teams have been placed into 3 seeding pots based on their overall record throughout the year. We begin round 2 by selecting from the second pot, including those teams seeded 9 to 16. Just as in the ECNL Champions League, no team may be drawn into a group that includes a team from their conference. Group A, Sporting. Group B, SLSG Metro. Group C, Albion. Group C, or Group D, Soccer Plus. Group E, Eagles. Group F, FC Dallas. Group G, Solar. Group H, Busa. We'll now begin round 3, which includes teams seeded in ranks 17 through 24. Texas Rush. Maryland United. Heat FC. Strikers. Yep. Group E, Challenge. Albertson. Albertson is in the same conference as FC Bucks, so we redraw. Rage. Albertson is placed back in. Continental. Albertson. We'll now begin the final round, round 4, with the teams seeded in rank 25 to 32. Group A, East Meadow. SC Del Sol. CISA. St. Louis Scott Gallagher. Group E, World Class. Group F, Soccers. Yeah. Ow. Group G, FC Virginia. And lastly, Orlando City. Orlando City and Busa are in the same conference, so we will redraw all three. Soccers, Orlando City, and FC Virginia. FC Virginia. Orlando City. Yes. Soccers. This concludes the Under-17 ECNL North American Cup Playoff Draw. Congratulations to the teams for their qualification and good luck in Seattle.
We'll now take a quick commercial break.
Welcome back. We're really hungry.
No, you keep going.
Okay. Welcome back. We'll now begin the draw for the Under-14 ECNL Champions League Finals.
The draw starts with identifying the 16 seeds in the Under-14 finals, both automatic qualifiers and wild cards.
Every conference champion and divisional champion, based on conference games, is identified. There are 11 total teams that won a division or conference.
For conferences with 2 divisions, the conference champion is determined by the team with the highest points per game from conference games only. This results in 1 conference champion from each conference and 7 overall.
These 7 conference champions are ranked 1 to 7 based on points per game from all games, conference and national event. The first pod contains the top 4 conference champions.
The top 4:
Charlotte, World Class, Soccers, and SoCal Blues.
Also in this pod are Bethesda, Solar, Crossfire, and Concord Fire.
Those teams make up the second pod, which are the next 3 conference champions based on points per game from all games played. And then the fourth team is the divisional champion with the highest points per game from all games.
All remaining teams are ranked 9 through 16 based on points per game from all games, conference, and national event. These teams are placed into pods in this order: Pod 3, 9 through 12, Pod 4, 13 through 16.
Group A, PDA. Group B, Michigan Hawks. Group C, FC Stars. Clumsy. A little bit. Dallas Texans. We're going to start round 4. Ready?
I'm ready.
You got everything under control? We're going to start.
Go!
Santa Rosa. Yes. Slammers. Yes. Castle. Lastly, Real, Colorado. This concludes the Under-14 Champions League draw.
We'll be right back with the Under-18 Champions League draw after this short break.
Welcome back. We will now begin the draw for the Under-18 ECNL Champions League final.
The draw starts with identifying the 16 seeds in the Under-18 finals, both automatic qualifier and wildcards.
Every conference champion and every divisional champion, based on conference games only, has been identified. There are 11 teams that won a division or a conference.
For conferences with 2 divisions, the conference champion is determined by the team with the highest points per game from conference games only. This results in 1 conference champion from each conference and then 7 overall.
These 7 conference champions have been ranked 1 to 7 based on points per game from all games, conference and national event. The first pod contains the top 4 conference champions: PDA, Michigan Hawks, Real SoCal, and Internationals.
The second pod contains the next 3 conference champions based on points per game from all games, plus the divisional champion with the highest points per game from all games, conference and national events. These remaining teams are Defeaters, MBLA, Concord Fire, and San Diego Surf.
Let's get started. McLean. Eclipse and Hawks are in the same conference, so we will redraw. Sporting and Hawks are in the same conference, so we will redraw. Connecticut FC. Place those 2 back in. Sporting. God, muscles, Jay. Come on.
Hey, I'm trying.
Eclipse. These things are heavy. Okay, we'll now begin the last group. SoCal Blues.
Keep going.
Ohio Premier. Washington Premier. Lastly, Lone Star. This concludes the Under-18 ECNL Champions League draw. Good luck to all the teams in Seattle, and we'll see you there.
Congratulations, and we'll return after this short break. Congratulations to all the qualifying teams for their hard work and perseverance. There is no more exciting or more demanding competition platform in youth female soccer in the world.
Thank you for supporting the ECNL, and good luck to you in the playoffs as you attempt to accomplish your goals.